In the area that belonged to the Rassens in Apennine, there is a famous spring Serchio. Lake Gard was called Lake Lydia. The Russians from Adria held an island of Vis in their power. The Sabini worshipped a god named Sevin. Sarasti lived on a coast around the city of Nuceria, Faterne, and the valley of the river Sarnus. Sarastes Servus says that, according to Conon, this people was a part of Pelasgians inhabited in that place. They gave the name Sarnus and called themselves Sarasti. They are located near Lucania. The Lucani are of Samnite origin, in fact, one of their own. At Samnite, the chief commander was called Embratur, from which the emperor emerged. The word. The Veneti, as Herodotus says, are from Illyrians. The name Veneti means noble, honorable, famous, and alike. Rassi called Aesar in the prayers of the god. Rassi called Aesar gods in their prayers. Ettore Pais says that Umbrians are originally from Alps and the region near Carpathians, and that they are getting older, and that the old people of Umbria were called Sarantes. The first 5 tribes, which made up the people of Rome, were Cloeli, Servili, Quineti, Iuli, and Gegani. They were all of the same origin. Latin. The tribe of Iuli or Iulis is well known, and it was Caius Iulius himself who claimed that they are Dardanians. The Servili tribe was called the Serbili. We know that a part of the Dardanian tribe settled in Latium at the same time as Raceni, and that Enea later came to his Dardanians. Eusebius says that Leto is a Phrygian goddess, the mother of Apollo. Leto is translated into Latin with Latina. Obviously, they are the Latin. That's how the Latins got their name, from this Phrygian goddess Leto, which means summer, the mother of the sun, deity Apollon, after whom the Serbs still name the season summer. Dionysius of Halicarnassus tells us that before its founding, Sicily, Aborigines and Pelasgians lived in the area of Rome. The name of aboriginal was created by merging 2 Latin words, ab origine, which means of origin, natives. Porcius Cato and Caius Sempronius explained that aborigines were originally from Greece and implied a much wider area. Dionysius gives a slightly different meaning to the name aboriginal and says that the name is given to a nation according to the living conditions, the homeless and unsettled nations. The aborigines, he says, are the same as the Lelegi. But this explanation does not match the meaning of the name itself. It says that the aborigines are of Enotrian origin and that they became the Cyclines, the Morgets and the Italians. That from them became Sicily, Morgeti and Italians. The Pelasgians and aborigines lived together in several Italian cities, some of which were previously inhabited by shekels, such as were previously inhabited by Sicilians, as Caere, which then was called Agylla, Pisa, Saturnia, and Alsium, all of which were later known as Russian cities. He then says that the Pelasgians were together with the aborigines and that they participated in construction of Rome. Raoul Rochette states that, according to some legends, the aborigines are of Pelasgian origin. According to numerous historical testimonies, the Pelasgians come to Italy from Epirus and Illyria and founded numerous settlements where there are still ruins called Cyclopean, with walls characteristic of the Pelasgians. Such Cyclopean walls can be found in the Peloponnese, Attica, Boeotia, Phocis, Thessaly, Epirus, Thrace, Asia Minor, and the islands that belong to it, where all the settlement of Pelasgians was known from history and is confirmed by these ruins. Silius Italicus calls the Romans Dardanians and Phrygians. Raceni are called Meoni. He says that Sabini declared that they were of the same origin as the Spartans, and these are Dorians from Illyria. Gilles Michelet talks about the emergence of Italian education and says, Italian civilization did not originate from the Iberian people of Liguria, nor from the Umbrian Celts, much less from the Slavic Veneti or Vandi, not even the Hellenic migrations that took place several centuries before the Christian era. Located in the south, it seems that she had the unfortunate race of Pelasgians, the older sister of the Greek race, as the main creator, equally persecuted around the world by the Greeks and the barbarians. Michelet says that Ausonia was named after the Oskis, which other writers claim to be of the Danube region. Michelet further says that almost the entire coast of Italy was inhabited by the Pelasgians, first with the Pelasgians from Arcadia, Enotri and Peucet, then from the Pelasgians of Tyrrhenia, Lydia. The Pelasgians founded Ravenna and Spina, that is, ancient Venice. Rome should have remembered that its origin is Pelasgian. Didn't he himself claim that Enea brought to Latium, after fall of Troy, lictors from the holy fire of Vestal? Did he not respect Samothrace as his mother? Samothrace. Mantova was a Racen migrant, and her poet sang the fall of Troy with regret and saw her resurrection and the founding of Rome. Hesiod wrote that Circe had two sons with Odysseus, Latinos and Agrios, la barbare. It is believed that the Racens are descended from Agrios. Agrios is the actually name Serbios, which is proven in several places and in several examples. This is more proof that Racens were also called Serbs. For Servius Tullius, Niebuhr says that he was Racen leader named Mastarna, and when he settled in Rome with his army, he changed his name to Servius Tullius. Lucian writes this name as Serbius Tullius. This means that Mastarna, after becoming the master of Rome, took the name Serbius. Let us also mention Casimir Schultz, quoted by Miss Lukovic, that they were Illyrians and Thracians are of the same origin and same customs, of the same origin as they were the tribes that inhabited the Alps, eastern Italy, especially Venetians and Noricans and Vindelicans and the inhabitants of Raetia. The same writer says that once the Illyrians inhabited the entire Adriatic coast from the river Po all the way to the border of Puglia. About the Veneto lived in a mountain people, blood relatives of Venetians, Raeti and Vindelici. Milan Budimir brings the names of Sabel tribes in Italy with the name of Serbs. And indeed, it is indisputable that the Sabels are in fact Sabers. There were two Serbian cities on Sikkel, Elim and Egest. The other rules describe the evil fate of Egesta, whose real name was Segest. Agathokle, the Greek tyrant of Syracusa, second half of the 4th century BC, attacked the city of Segest, which at that time had 10,000 inhabitants and was officially his ally. He took the population out of the city and slaughtered them on the banks of river Srbica. He put all the rich citizens in trouble to discover his hidden treasure. It was a terrible torture of people, women and children, even pregnant women, in the most cruel way. He sold the children as slaves, gave the city the name Diciopolis, and intended it to be inhabited by various vagrants. Saint Jerome follows Josephus, relies too much on him, and accepts that Tarshish in Cilicia and her city of Tarsus. Eusebius does not adopt this, but says that it is Tarshish in Iberia, that is, Tartesh. But the Jews never called Iberia Tarshish. They call it Spain. It is another name of Iberia adopted by the Jews. If they had called that country Tarshish earlier, then they would have not changed that name. The Chaldeans, as Boscher says, call this land Ebra or Ibra. Iberians in the plural are called Ebrin or Ibrin. The Jews consider Iberia to be the end of the country and call it Sarfat or Sepharad, and by that name they mean Spain and Gaul.